Okay, affordaplane build update number 7. Just want to bring those up to date on some of the changes that's happened in the last couple of weeks for those who are following along. But before I do that, I want to just extend my condolences again to, for those who don't know, John Updegrove, who's the innovator or the company founder of mosquito helicopters. He tragically died in a helicopter accident 2 days ago. This is a picture of the mosquito. I built one a couple of years ago and built it and flew it, and John actually lives just down the road from me. He came up and actually did the original test flight on this machine here. This is just a picture of my field and a helicopter out where I live, and I knew him quite well. I visited him many times when I was building it, and I in fact interrupted one of his Christmas parties one time to ask him a question I had about pushing in bearings into the rotor head. I was having some trouble, so I went down there in the nighttime, and he was such a nice guy, and it's such a tragic loss to the ultralight community. I'm taking off to Oshkosh in a couple days, and he was a big part of that. At the ultralight area, those who were there would see him doing the flight demos at lunchtime for the mosquito, and so such a loss, so sad. The details are still coming out as to what happened, but anyways, that's a picture of one. And yeah, I sold that a number of years ago to a guy, or last year actually, to a guy in Saskatchewan. So our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers go to John and his family. Affordaplane update. Here we are. You can see a couple changes. Is the windshield and the wheels. So we got the wheels going here. This is what I decided to do. These wheels are the ultralight rims from Aircraft Spruce, and the tires and the brakes I got from a place called AZ USA. Go-kart people down in California. I just fabricated this whole aluminum bracket piece to sort of make it all work. Here's the actuator arm for the drum brake. The cable is going to come in through here, through a hole through here, and attach onto here. And that's how we're going to activate both brakes. Again, no suspension. This is the only suspension I'm going to have, is just a softness in the tires. The plane should land pretty easily. The seat, you've seen this already before. One guy wrote in the comments, said, hey, well, have you figured out what to do with the sump down here? And the answer is no, haven't figured that out quite yet as to what to do with my head space. It's very limited with this big thing sitting down there, so I got to do something about that. Put a little bit of stain on the instrument panel here. I think it looks kind of nice. I'll put a clear coat on that. That's the rudder pedals, of course, down there that we've already shown in a previous video. Some skateboard tape. I put some carbon fiber adhesive 3M stuff. As I said in my previous videos, I think carbon fiber looks pretty sexy on airplanes. Looks pretty good. Had a little bit of boo-boos here, but this plane isn't going to win any Lindy awards at Oshkosh in any case, so kind of ugly, but it is what it is. Gave me a little bit of trouble, but it looked kind of nice. Painted this with some primer just to kind of see what it's going to sort of look like. This is going to be white vinyl. Going to paint that white just to see what it's, that's what it's going to look like. This is some tinted Lexan I had from the first plane I built. Was called an Excalibur Ultralight back in 2009. Had this stuff sitting around for years and years and years. And one of the things I like about this project is I get to use up some of the stuff I've had laying around from various aircraft builds. It looks pretty nice. I think it came out pretty well. It's just cleat-coat in place right now. Made some, just a aluminum angle here, just sort of bent some plate just to sort of attach it there. And it seems pretty good. I'm going to put some black RTV to seal around here and some of the areas like up here just to kind of seal it off. I think it'll be okay. It looks like it'll work, so hopefully. It took a little bit of time, of course, to bend and to cut and to do all that stuff, but that's part of the fun. This is the front. The muffler you've seen before, just sort of hanging in there just for the video purposes. The propellers is pushed on. Carburetor. Here's the other side of kind of what things sort of look like. Wheels again on this side. Same thing. Brakes. Same thing. Should all be okay. So that's kind of where we're at. Oh, this is that is my pipe bender. That sucker is a 1-inch pipe bender. I got it at the store down the road for like 60 bucks. It works pretty good, but to bend these guys here, it took a lot of force. I was surprised how tough. This is that 6061 T6 aluminum tubing as it called out in the plans, and to bend this stuff, it took quite a bit. So what's next is, that looks pretty good. It took a while, and I'm happy it was a good place to start. Next is the empennage. We have all the tubing in the corner there, and we're going to lay it all out down here. And we're going to start bending the horizontal, vertical stabilizers and get that stuff sort of going. So there we go. Affordaplane updates number 7. in the books. Off to Oshkosh on Sunday, gone for a couple weeks, so no building for a couple weeks, and I'll be back at it again when I get back into Canada. And there you go.